Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Greg with the Dapper Man. Today I'm going to be smoking the Balmoral Anejo XO. I'll be welcoming some new subscribers and talking about some comments that I've gotten on some of my other videos. So stay tuned. Welcome back. As I said before the intro there, I want to welcome some new subscribers. So I want to welcome Johnny and Harrison. Thank you for joining the channel. If you know of anybody else that you think would like my videos, please go ahead and send them a link. Invite them to the page on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or Instagram, all at the Dapper Man US. And of course, you're on YouTube. They can hit subscribe, should be over here, and hit the little bell notification, and they'll get notified when I post a new video. Okay, we do have one comment to talk about. It's from Amateur Hour on my 5 Vegas Classic series with that cigar review. The user wrote, "I love this cigar." That 5 Vegas Classic is actually a very good cigar. It's a very good price point. It's a really decent smoke, and it's what I would probably call a backyard cigar, backyard gar, or something that you could take golfing or hunting or something, and that way it's not a premium stick that you have to worry about putting down and letting it go out and then relighting. So that 5 Vegas Classic is a very good cigar. So now stay tuned, and we're going to go ahead and smoke this Balmoral Anejo, and I'll be right back to tell you more about that cigar. All right, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Matt. We're at Rem's place in Grand Junction, Colorado. Like I said, we're going to be smoking the Balmoral Anejo. This cigar, we're actually going to smoke the Gran Toro, the 6x52. Seems like a thick 52 though.
It does seem like a little bit, yeah.
I would have, more like a 58 for me, but that's okay. This cigar has a sun-grown Brazilian Arapiraca wrapper. I'm not sure actually how to pronounce that one. My Spanish is that bad.
I would say it's a Arapiraca.
Arapiraca, okay. Then the binder is Dominican Olor, and then we have filler is Dominican Olor, Nicaraguan Estelí, and then an exclusive Stalk-Cut Brazilian Mata Norte. Pretty much what the same as the other Balmoral cigars. So if you're not familiar with the brand, they have kind of 3 main cigars. The Anejo Oscaro, and then the Connecticut. I've already done a video review on the other 2, so this will be the 3rd video in the series, and this will be the last video in this for the Balmoral cigars. This size here, the Gran Toro, got a 92 from Cigar Journal, a 94 from Cigar and Spirits, and a 90 from the Cigar Authority. So it's actually should be a really good stick.
From what it's describing, absolutely. And one thing I do want to make note on, especially for Balmoral in itself being such a boutique company that it is, you know, every time I get one of their cigars, I love the design of their bands.
Yes.
They're always very gorgeous. I love the way that it has this nice shiny band down at the bottom, but at the same time it's complemented very well by the simple gold gleafing on it. And plus on top of that, if you take a whiff of that thing, it just smells delicious.
What are you getting on the dry taste? To me, it's almost like fruity, kind of like a raisiny almost.
I see a little bit of fruit there. At the same time, I don't know if maybe it's just because of the fact I used a much deeper V-cut on it, but I'm almost getting a little bit of a cocoa taste.
Okay.
Like very, very minimal though.
Yeah, a little bit of a cocoa. And so, according to Balmoral, the profile that we are supposed to be getting are complex notes of cedar, cocoa, and peppery spices with a smooth underlying natural sweetness on the finish. So Matt and I both did the V-cut. I did a shallow V, he did a deeper V. We're going to go ahead and light these up, and we'll give you our initial impressions. So this is our torch lighter. It's a Zycar. I call it the grenade. It's a 4 torch. That's what, a single torch? Single flame?
This is actually a flat flame.
Oh, okay.
From Zycar.
Okay.
It's a very unique lighter. It's the first one of its kind that I've ever seen. We got in here at the lounge probably about 6 months ago. You know, initially when I first seen it, wasn't too impressed by it. I kind of figured, you know, how could a flat flame work for lighting a cigar, especially with a lighter being as small as it is?
Right.
I mean, take a look at that port. At the same time, though, the flame itself, it works great. And then one thing I find is it does not overheat the foot of the cigar. Like a lot of times you'll get, especially with a quad torch, a nice heated foot on the end, and as you're pulling in to get the cigar nice and lit, sometimes you'll get that charred taste. This, I have never had that happen.
One of the other members of our lounge has one of those as well. One of the flat flames, and he calls it it's like a paintbrush almost. And he's just able to move it back and forth and paint the foot of the cigar or the wrapper if he needs to do a touch-up, and it goes exactly where he needs it to go. So he loves it as well. So what are you getting initially?
Well, initially, of course, naturally, there's not too much off of it.
Right.
I mean, obviously, of course, there's still that little bit of sweetness. The cocoa initially, however, is not there anymore.
Because I'm getting a lot of cocoa on the finish.
Maybe it could be just me, obviously. I have to drink a little bit more water, cleanse my palate. I've already had one stick today. However, I will say I'm getting a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
A little bit of a spice note towards the back.
Yeah, the other two, so the Connecticut didn't have a lot of spice, but it did have some. The Oscuro had some really good spice on it. And this one, I am getting some spice as well. But I like spicy cigars. So this is a more bold cigar, flavor-wise. But what would you give it strength-wise? I give it kind of a medium to medium full. It's definitely not a full.
Definitely off the first light. I would say more of a medium full. Yes, absolutely. Leaning a lot more towards the medium, however. Definitely not very strong. About the most potent thing that I'm getting so far off of it is that spice.
Right.
I mean, everything else is very mild, it's smooth, and even on the retrohale, there's not a lot of heat off of it.
Right.
It's, all in all, right now, it's actually starting out very well.
Good. You said you've had other Balmorals. This is the third one that I've had. I just got the sample pack. I ordered a sample pack, which I do for my videos. That way I could, I don't have to buy an entire box of something in case I don't know if I'm going to like it. But the other two were, like Matt said, were very, very smooth. Especially the Connecticut was extremely creamy. This one, I think, if it follows through with the way the others did, it starts out really peppery, and then it smooths out, and then at the very end, it's just like butter.
I will definitely agree with you on that Connecticut. That Connecticut was one of those cigars that I could have after a very light meal, and it would just go perfect with almost anything. It was delicious.
Yeah, I like it in the morning because for me, I got a lot of coffee flavor. So it was like drinking like a coffee with a lot of cream in it. So I think it would be really good, like first cigar in the morning.
And you see, that's one thing that myself and so many other people differ is when a lot of folks that will compare premium cigars to having it with a good cup of coffee in the morning. The only problem is I can't do that because I drink coffee black.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work out that well for me.
And I would actually say, I think talking about it, I kind of like something a little bit stronger in the morning, kind of jumpstart my day. But a good Connecticut as like a dessert stick. If
Absolutely.
you haven't really smoked anything all day, or your palate's pretty clean after like a nice big steak, something really, really robust and full of flavors.
Absolutely.
Getting something with that subtlety really helps.
Yes, I do agree, definitely.
So yeah, we're going to go ahead and smoke the first third here. But any other notes now that we've gotten past that just initial light? For me, it's really just smoothed out like almost instantly.
Yeah, for me, it's not. I wouldn't say it really has smoothed out. I've still got a good chunk of that spice going in there. But at the same time, once again, as I mentioned before, I'm not receiving any of the cocoa anymore. That's pretty much dissipated completely. And in all actuality, now I'm not really getting a taste, but I'm starting to smell cedar off the burn.
Okay.
I'm kind of picking up on that right now. So we'll see.
Yeah. excuse me, room note, yeah. Getting a little bit of that cedar.
Got a little bit of a run here.
Yeah, same here. So we're going to go ahead and actually smoke into the first third here, and we'll come back with a update on the flavors, the burn, and any other thoughts that we have. So stay tuned. So we're about halfway through our first third. As you can see, mine is actually pretty even. A little bit of a runner on that side. I can just roll it over and hopefully that'll clear it back up or catch up. Gray ash, nice really dark gray ash. No tunneling, no canoeing, nothing like that. Matt, how's your construction?
Well, I will definitely say I do definitely have a little bit of a run right there. Mm-hmm. Of course, that comes along a seam in the leaf itself, so I'm going to make the assumption that it might not necessarily be the construction, it might just be the cigar's getting a little bit hot. Mm-hmm. So I've laid off of it just a little bit. Yeah. One thing I do want to mention though, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see it in there, that's a nice toothy ash on there, which explains the initial hit of spice that I got on it. All in all though, now that I've gotten about halfway through the first third, the spice is pretty well evened out. I still get it a little bit on the retrohale, but taste-wise, it's evened it out to a nice, smooth draw. I can't necessarily say it's creamy yet, but it's definitely changing. So, we'll see.
Yeah, for me, again, extremely smooth. No pepper unless I retrohale, which I love to retrohale. Getting like it's almost like a leather or a coffee taste, and then it goes right into some cocoa, like a sweet cocoa for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll the cigar over so heat rises. I'm going to try that, see if I can even this up a little bit. Construction, my cap has stayed intact very, very well. I guess you call it a wet lip smoker. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with. Mine as well, actually. I'm not seeing any sort of peel off of the cap, even though I did have to use that deeper V-cut. It has held together really well.
It's got a strong hit of coffee on the finish there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and continue smoking. We'll come back once we start our second third. Again, nothing but smoothness, sweetness, pepper on the retro.
Still got that cedar note.
Okay.
Still got that cedar note.
Okay. But we'll come back a little bit later and we'll give you some further thoughts. Welcome back. We're starting I'm starting my second third. He's a little bit further in. You can kind of see that I had a cone going on mine. Usually you see that when you're smoking too fast. So I kind of let mine rest. I also ashed mine, mainly because I didn't want to dump it on me like I normally do.
I'm going to get there, I guarantee it.
Tastes, let's see. I'm smoking, like I said, a little too fast, so I'm not getting a lot of that sweetness. I think if I slowed down and let the cigar get back to the proper temperature, it would get a lot of that natural sweetness back. But because I am smoking so fast, it's a lot of leather and the natural tobacco flavor, that earthiness. Construction, as you can see, still a little bit of a runner, so I just rolled it over again. But no mouse holes, no tunneling, not even, I wouldn't even call that a canoe at all. Cap is perfectly intact. So what are you getting?
Honestly, after I let mine rest for a little bit, I did start getting a little bit more of that sweetness back. As the cigar cooled down to its proper temperature, I did finally get that canoe to cooperate, so that's definitely on the better side. Obviously, my ash is still holding, although I do have to agree with you. I am waiting. I'm definitely waiting.
Yeah.
But one thing I will mention is that over the course of the time period that this is burned, and especially after I let it relax, it has almost gotten a little bit stronger. Mm-hmm. I'm almost wondering if maybe that Marta leaf is starting to get a little bit of a strength back into it. Other than that, I mean, it's still the same thing. It's still a little bit on the toothy side. Not terrible, but altogether, so far, a decent smoke from
Yeah.
Balmoral.
So if you had to make a decision right now, would you to buy a box of these or not? Would you?
No.
No.
But that is solely because I refuse to make that decision until I'm done.
Okay.
When I'm done with this game.
That is a fair point.
If someone was to come up behind me and stick a gun to my head right now,
well, you would punch them first, but
naturally. But then again, that's my background. Anyway, I would have to say yes. I would go ahead and buy a box. However, I'll leave that permanent decision until we're finished.
So let's go with something a little simpler. Would you smoke it again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just like with the other Balmorals, they're definitely a solid stick.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, I would say it's probably an everyday smoke.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not something I would specifically reserve for a special occasion,
Mm-hmm.
but I certainly would not smoke it while I'm out doing yard work or anything like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not a backyard cigar or a golfing cigar.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. It's not a special occasion cigar either. It's not like your Padron 50th or your Eye of the Sharks.
Oh, no. Definitely nothing like that.
But it is a very good smoke. We're gonna, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to wait and make a final decision once I'm done smoking it if I'd actually buy a box or not.
Yeah,
But we were doing some more research, and how did you pronounce that leaf?
Well, I brought it up on my phone here just so that way I could see what I'm looking at, because unfortunately with your screen it's a little bit angled.
Yeah, sorry.
The best I could come up with here is it's the Arapiraca.
Arapiraca. All right, and I'm a gringo, so Spanish does not come out of his mouth very easily. So, yeah, as you can just tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I will definitely say, and this is just simply because while I was bringing up the research, it did bring it up. I'm actually very surprised to find that actually these leaves are aged on an average of 10 years before they are rolled. So that definitely explains that smoothness. Definitely.
Absolutely. So I don't know if I would actually age this cigar at all. Because it is already aged 10 years, I don't think I would really try to purposely age it.
Well, one thing I will definitely say, and of course anybody who smokes cigars knows this naturally, aging a cigar in and of itself is of course always the smoker's choice. Myself personally, I could honestly say I would probably smoke one of these right off the truck, as it's called. At the same time though, I would almost be worried about maybe getting a hold of it a little bit too dehumidified, because if anybody noticed on this side right here, we do have a couple of burrows where the leaf was a little bit too dry, so you might have to contemplate on that.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I would let it rest like a day or two, well, probably a week or two, depending on where it came from and where you are. Again, living in a high desert of Grand Junction, I think our average humidity during the summer is like 15%. So
if we're lucky.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Phoenix.
there we go.
Ooh. Well, at least you didn't get it on you.
No, I did not. Thankfully.
Yeah. So Phoenix actually has more humidity than we do. And we do get up to 100 plus degrees during the summer as well. So depending on when you get it or where you're from, you will definitely need to let it rest for the appropriate amount of time. So we're going to continue smoking here. Again, it's just really, really smooth. Let me take another hit or puff here since it has cooled down again.
Bringing up that old ganja talk there, Greg. You need to watch it.
Oh yeah. Sweet, cocoa, coffee, leather. At the proper temperature, this is a really, really good stick. Don't smoke it too fast. So we're going to be back. We'll probably finish our second third, start our third, final third. We'll be back with more updates, so stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. We are into our final thirds here. I've ashed mine again. He's still working on his second ash. It fell off during an earlier session here for the first time. But we're talking about the construction of the cigar, and you can see the cap is still perfectly intact, which is one reason I love the V-cut to begin with. But this cigar isn't overpacked. I think this is probably a 58 ring gauge, but it's not, like I said, it's not too tight. It's really kind of springy, so it has a really good draw.
It's definitely got a very good draw on it. One thing I will definitely say is here and there, every now and again, I have gotten a little bit of a threat of another canoe in, but it always evens itself out very well. One thing I will definitely give Balmoral is the fact that every single one of their smokes that I have never had an issue where the cigar construction stays bad. It always fixes itself.
Yeah, agreed. On the other two cigar videos, if you look at them, I've never really had a runner. If I do, I just roll the cigar over and it fixes itself, which is the sign of a good quality cigar. What are you tasting? Any taste difference?
Not really. I mean, I'm still getting that cocoa in there a little bit, and it's definitely got the spice on the retrohale, which explains the teeth. One thing I will say is that cedar note that you get just off the simple burn, it's stuck most of the way through the stick.
Well, that's good.
I've consistently smelled it. It's absolutely delicious tasting. I'm not getting the cream anymore. It's still very smooth. All in all, I would definitely have to say that the most consistent note is that cedar scent.
Excuse me. I'm not getting a lot of the cedar. That unfortunately my palate just really can't taste cedar for whatever reason. I'm getting a lot of that leather, not a lot of sweetness, but I think that's because I started smoking again too fast. But getting a lot of that leather, getting some of the, it's more like a black coffee at this point. Not a lot of cocoa. But I think this is still a very good cigar. Again, construction's fantastic, taste is pretty good. So, like I said, we're in our final third here. Do you want to make a decision? Would you buy a box?
I would have to say, even though I haven't completely finished off the cigar, I will definitely say that this would be box worthy in my opinion. All in all, I would definitely say that it is a solid stick. Most of the Balmorals I've smoked have been. I will say the Connecticut, not so much. That's just my personal opinion, though I don't do Connecticut. But because of the spice and the consistency of the flavor, I would say it's definitely box worthy. Absolutely.
Okay. I agree, absolutely. We were talking a little bit earlier off camera, and this is not, at least for me, is not a something I would just smoke while I'm playing golf or in the backyard mowing the lawn. I would want to sit down and enjoy the cigar. I would not save it for a special occasion. It is just a really good everyday stick.
I would have to say I have to agree, definitely. It is an everyday stick. I will admit I would have to sit down and enjoy it. You know, one thing I would definitely have to say would pair very well with this, and just my personal palate choice, would probably be a well-aged whiskey.
I can definitely see that. I don't know if I'd want something super smoky or something a little bit sweeter to kind of...
Yeah, like I couldn't say a bourbon. I couldn't say a bourbon. That would just be a little bit too strong for it. But a nice whiskey would go well with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely on that last set, hit a little bit of the sweetness, but still a lot of that coffee, a lot of that leather and that earthiness. On the finish, I'm getting a little bit of the sweetness after you exhale. Kind of like a finish on a whiskey. Then we get a little bit of the sweetness there. One of the other lounge members just walked in. I think he said the cigar paired really well with a Woodford Reserve. So we'll have to try that at some point.
I could see it.
Overall, again, I don't do the point system. Talking to Matt, would I buy this again? Yes. So I'd definitely buy a box of these. I think that's what I'm going to do. Would I buy a box? Yes or no? If not, would I smoke it again? If somebody just gave me one, obviously the answer is yes, if you're going to buy a box. But I don't think I've really had a cigar that I would never smoke again. If I do, it's really, really rare.
Well, that is not true. We do have one.
Yeah, we do have. We're not going to name it, but we do have one. It's kind of a running joke here in the lounge.
Yeah.
But we're not going to name it. We think we just got a bad box. But that's it for now. We hope you have a good day. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I do answer the comments both on YouTube or wherever they are and on video. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that little bell notification, and you'll be notified when I post a new video. And we're going to finish these off, and we'll talk to you in our next video. So have a good day.